First, I want to give a couple thanks for tonight's festivities. First, we want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for all they do, the number of hours they spend picking and choosing all the right members to get in. So at this time, let's, if any of the members are here, which I think most of them are, just stand to be recognized as we call your name. Wayne Bowling, Chris Cannell, Joni Kopis, DJ DeLong, Mike Dole, Missy Harvey, Jerry Lauer, John Ross, Larry Wood, and Jack Young. Give them a round of applause, please. We'd also like to thank Jeff Tanner and Jostens for the donations, the gifts that everyone will be receiving this evening. Nice plaques, and I think watches this year? Yep, they will be receiving watches as well. Very nice. Thank you to Steve Colwell and TV Hamilton, set up in the back. They are getting ready to go live on Facebook, so if you know anybody that wants to watch, tell them to follow TV Hamilton on Facebook, and then in a couple days, they'll also post this on their YouTube channel. We'd also like to thank the Marriott for hosting us this evening. Nice dinner, beautiful venue. Love being part of the Marriott here down in Hamilton. Yes, big round of applause. And we'd also like to recognize any past Hall of Fame inductees. So if you are a current Hall of Fame member not being inducted yet tonight, we ask that you please stand. Thank you to all of you. And we also want to give a special thanks to the Sharp family for their generous scholarship donation they give each year. They give a donation. They donate a scholarship to one male and one female from Hamilton High School. And at this time, I'm going to introduce our athletic director, Missy Harvey, and she is going to present those awards.
It's not good to be short. Okay, because now my vision has gotten bad since I've gotten a little older. First, I just want to say good evening. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all the inductees and all the past inductees here tonight. I will say, as I walked around last night at our meet and greet, the stories that were told and the time that was shared by that really allowed me to reflect a lot on what Big Blue Athletics means. And it was one of those moments where I'm always proud to be Big Blue, but last night was awesome because of all the family members that were there and all the stories that were shared. It was just a very special moment last night. So to all the family members who came out last night, thank you. I would like to take a moment to recognize some district people who are here tonight. From my staff, Jamie Cox and Mike Dole, they work diligent. They're probably some of the hardest workers on the Hall of Fame committee. Mike does a lot with the program. Jamie is the voice that you hear when you call to order tickets. My assistant, R.V. Crouch, who could not be here tonight, he had another family commitment, so I apologize for that. I would also like to recognize Mr. Mike Holbrook, our superintendent, Mr. John Zeri, our principal, current board member, Mr. Joe Kopis, and we have current coaches, Kevin Higgins, our basketball coach, and Steve Heckman, our softball coach. Their support of Big Blue Athletics is greatly appreciated, and I'm grateful to work in a district that has such a strong athletic background. I know that we had a few lean years in there, but I can tell you right now, over the last few years, we have started to come back much stronger, and I've seen a major turnaround in things that are happening. Give us a few more years, and we're going to be back how we used to be. That's why I came into this job, and that's my goal. I have the privilege tonight of presenting the scholarship to the two Big Blue graduates on behalf of Coach Bill Sharp and his family. With us tonight is his granddaughter, Stacy Cavanaugh, and her son, Ian. I've had the privilege of working with her father, Jim. He, like his father, has been a true gentleman, and I'm extremely grateful for his continued scholarship on behalf of his father. Coach Sharp graduated from Ohio State in 1928 and moved to Hamilton in 1930, where he spent over 60 years impacting the lives of thousands of students and athletes. He was known to everyone simply as Coach, and his devotion to sports and fitness was overshadowed only by his desire to help people be successful and realize their potential. Coach Sharp strongly emphasized a commitment to academic excellence, competing with honor, and displaying good sportsmanship at all times. Although small in stature, his actions and positive attitude cast a large shadow as a role model for generations of Hamilton youth. The gymnasium at Garfield Middle School is named in his honor. A plaque reads, "A true gentleman that has been a positive role model for our entire community for 3 generations as a teacher and coach." He was also inducted into the Hamilton City Athletic Hall of Fame in 1999. The Coach Sharp Scholarship Award, which started in 2010, is awarded each year to 1 senior male student and 1 senior female student at Hamilton High School. The recipients are chosen based in part upon the following criteria. They must have had 2 varsity letters during their senior year. They must have maintained a cumulative GPA of 3.0. They must display outstanding sportsmanship during athletic competition, and they must display outstanding citizenship through community service. This year's recipients of the Coach Sharp Scholarship are Ms. Paige Iglesia and Mr. Casey Grant. If you two could come up. Just a quick tidbit about the two of them. Paige was a 4-year member of the softball team, a 3-year member of the soccer team, and a 1-year member of the girls wrestling team. She is currently attending Miami University and also serves as one of our girls wrestling coaches. She maintained over a 3.5 cumulative GPA during her high school career while taking many CCP classes and Miami University courses. Casey was a 3-year member of the baseball team, a 3-year member of the boys basketball team, and his senior year served as the team manager with Coach Higgins. He is attending Xavier University, and if you've seen any basketball games, he's one in the front row of the student section because he is one of their student leaders. Casey has maintained a 3.7 GPA throughout his high school career. Both of these individuals were great representatives of Big Blue and the epitome of a student athlete. I had the privilege of not only watching them play, but truly getting to know them as individuals, and I cannot think of 2 more people who were more qualified and more deserving of this award than these 2. What they did for Hamilton, for me, will not be forgotten. Mrs. Kavanaugh would like to say a few words, and then she will present them with their scholarship.
So my name is Stacy Sharp Kavanaugh, and I am the granddaughter of Coach Bill Sharp. And they asked if I wanted to speak, and at first I said no. And then I thought, I think I'm going to, because I've never had the opportunity to speak about how wonderful my grandfather was. So just briefly, every time I go to an interview, and I'm an educator as well, and every time I go to an interview, I'm asked the question, what's the reason why you got into education? And I've taught for 25 years, and right now I'm making a change into administration. I'm working on my principal's licensure. And every single time I'm asked that question, I can see my grandfather standing. I'm probably taller than him. As many of you know, he was short but strong in stature, and his shadow cast a light on everyone. But and I would tell the interviewers my grandfather, and I always tell the same story that I remember when I was 13. We were at a parade in Hamilton, and he asked me to be on the float. And I didn't realize how almost famous he was until I got to be on this parade in Hamilton. And I remember sitting in, it was some sort of I don't even remember, but, and I remember people coming up to him and waving and talking to him, and coach and teacher, and wanting to thank him and wanting to talk to him and wanting to reminisce with him. And I just remember thinking, this is my grandpa. And I loved him for who he was, but I thought, I knew he was a coach and a teacher. And at that point in time, he was at the Y. And I remember thinking to myself, I got to do this for a living. I want to make an impact like he did. And from that day on, I knew I wanted to be in the field of education. And I have. And he still is making a difference. And I see that in my son over there who works with kids today. And I hope that, all of you realize the impact that you're making as well. And he would have loved to have met both of you. And I know that he would have been proud. And I know my family, even though they couldn't be here, my parents are actually out of the country. But we are more than happy to give you this award. So thank you for sharing this night with my grandfather and myself. And congratulations.
Once again, congratulations to Casey and Paige there. They're, I know both of them a little bit too. Great students, great kids. So now let's go ahead and get to what we're all here for, and that's all of our new inductees. First up, we're going to have Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson is a 1986 graduate of Hamilton High School, where he was a standout on the hardwood court. Anderson was a 3-year letter winner for the basketball team when he played for fellow Hall of Fame coach John Smith, who is also here this evening. Anderson was voted team captain during both his junior and senior seasons, which during his senior campaign with fellow Hall of Fame teammates Norm Greavy, Maurice Riggins, and Donnie Riggins, the Big Blue won the Greater Miami Conference Championship. Anderson earned all GMC honors on 2 occasions and also all Golden Triangle. He was nominated to the 1986 McDonald's All-American team and played in the Ohio District All-Star Game featuring the All-Stars from Ohio and Indiana. During his career, Anderson scored 552 points and was a valuable leader on and off the court for the Blue. Anderson went on to play basketball at Freed-Hardeman University in Henderson, Tennessee. He currently resides in Fairfield and is the owner of Apache Networks. Anderson has 3 children, Brianna Anderson, Jordan Anderson, and Mike Greer.
Thank you. So I was fortunate enough to know Coach Sharp, and when I was about 15, we was at the YMCA, and he said, give me 50 push-ups. So I did 50 push-ups. There's a bunch of muscle guys in there doing 50 push-ups. The man was 70 years old and done a one-handed push-up probably 50 to 75 times, both hands. And what a great man that guy was. And actually, I didn't even think nothing about him until you said something, man. He was a good, kind man. Anyway, I was fortunate enough to play 3 years for Hamilton High. I played my sophomore year for Mo Flagg and Buddy McCullum. A lot of people might know Mo Flagg, what a great guy he was. My junior and senior, I played for John Smith. And it took me about 5 minutes to realize John Smith knew what the heck he was doing. The guy was just amazing. Preparation, his integrity, his trustworthiness, his honesty. And I owe a lot to John Smith, and I get kind of emotional because I had a serious health condition last year, and I was supposed to have been inducted last year, and so the committee brought me back this year, and actually almost died. Probably took me all year last year to recover, and it's just amazing how friends and family and the prayers that reached out to me, and man, it was. All the people who came to see me, the text messages I got from old coaches, from players, friends, family, it's just breathtaking and humbling. It really is. And you don't really know how life goes so fast. I was in the best shape of my life, and it hit me really quick. And I almost didn't make it. I got a great new grandbaby just now left. That made me motivated to come in here. And it took me all year to get here. And here I am. And thank God. And so I want to thank God, and I want to thank God for giving me an opportunity each and every day. I want to thank the committee for bringing me back, and I want to think of all the people in my life. I got my family. My family and friends are so important to me. And I have my sister with me, my Uncle Clay. Clay was a baller for Taft back in, I was barely 3 or something, 71, 72 or something. Yeah, so my niece Danielle, my mom's here. My mom's still doing very well. My son Jordan, my girlfriend Jill, she said it's the hottest ticket in town, and that's the only reason she showed up for the food. Alex, my daughter, her fiance's here, and my uncle's wife Pam. Anyway, So things that stand out to me of Hamilton High, I love playing for Hamilton. I just remember all the names when I was growing up, man. Just all the names when I was a kid. My uncles told me, I had an uncle named Ronnie, too, that played for Garfield in the '69 team that went to the finals. But I heard about the Townsends and the Greavies, and I heard about, Wayne Bowling's here. I heard about him. I heard about, heard about all these, Matthews, Jerry Matthews. I heard about him when I was a kid. I heard about all these different guys, Larry Allen. All these different guys I heard of, and they're all here. Tommy Taylor, Tommy Thompson, sorry. I heard of him. I heard of all these guys that was here, and they're all here. And it's just amazing how, when life just comes around, and it's so fast. But one thing that stands out to me at Hamilton High, when I was a junior, we got to go to Rupp Arena and play for at Rupp Arena for a tournament there. I think it was called the Hillsborough Classic or something. Is that right, Norm? Yeah. Kevin was a superstar at Kentucky, so I think that's why we got to go. But we got to play in front of thousands of people. We got to play DeMatha High School. It was ranked number 2 in the country. We had a private bus that took us there. We had a police escort from Georgetown, Kentucky, all the way to the door there. We had bags with the names on it. We was swagging out there. We was walking up and down. We was pointing and stuff, man. And, it was unbelievable, the things that, that we got to do in high school. And I played in college, and I loved playing for John Smith and Hamilton High. We were cocky. We went like 36-7 or 8 or something like that, man. We only lost by a bucket here and there. The guy was really prepared and just taught us how to be grown men. And that's what I want to thank him for. And I know that he pushed me in here, and I know that other people did too. But the guy, I didn't really appreciate him when I was young. And when you get older, you want that peace that he had. He was a terror on the court, man. Just the first 5 minutes, I think I wanted to quit. The guy was just like run, and we did, and I went to Larry Woods probably and said, I'm done, man. And Coach Woods said, oh, you big sissy, So, the things that when you're in the hospital for weeks and weeks that I was, and you're just laying there barely alive, you just think about all the great things that that came to you, and all the accomplishments you did just by other people just helping you out. And I just want to say thanks to everybody, and friends and family is just so important to me anymore, and you take them for granted until something happens, and then when everybody comes and sees you, it's just so humbling. But I wanted to mention some names here that that's not in the Hall of Fame yet, but it's not up to me to decide who gets in here or not, but some of these guys are unbelievably players, and some of these guys had a big impact in my life. Top Cat McCluskey was a big baller back in on this team that went 25-0, 20-0. He was a great player. Bobby Blaylock, Brian Jackson, Timmy Robinson's a good friend of mine. Joey Lewis is a good friend of mine. Danielle Sorbridge, I watched her play. This is my niece, but I watched her play so many times in basketball. What a committed person she was. Rooster, Art Green, the highest jumper I've ever seen in my life. The guy had over 40-inch vertical leap. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Earl Henry was an amazing player. Cameron Jones was a good player. Wayne Barline, Rich Campbell, Clay Anderson, Derek Moon, and there's so many more kids. And I hope that a lot of these people can get in because, they're not only friends of mine, but they had a big influence in my life playing every single day. And these guys are just, they reach out to me. All these people just reached out to me, when I was laying there and stuff with nothing to do. I spent hours just looking at the ceiling, and I really didn't think I was going to make it here. But when people like this reach out to you and say they love you, it's just surreal, man. It really is. And God does amazing things in my life. The grandbaby, my new grandbaby, she kept me just pushing every day. And I just, I made it through, man. But I really want to thank the committee for letting me come back this year because I wasn't going to be able to make it last year. But thanks, everybody. Thanks for, having me come and speak. Thanks, John Smith. Man, I love you, man. Norm, I love you too, brother. Tim Rooking is one of my best friends. He came to see me. He thought I was dead. Dead. He wanted to play me one-on-one, man. I had a ventilator in my mouth. I couldn't even get up, and he's wanting to play me one-on-one. And he's just, he was going like this. Come on, let's go. And he blocked my shot like in the 8th grade, and so I'd get a phone call. Like I get a phone call at 3 in the morning sometimes, and I'd say, hello, I thought somebody was in jail or died or something. Hello, hello. Back then we had them phones, you grab them, the cord wraps around your neck. Hello, hello. And he said, I blocked your shot. I was like, that was a foul, man. Come on, man. He's like in 8th grade, and, we was 30 years old. I had kids. I was 30 years old, and, they're like, who's calling my house at 2 in the morning? And I just want to remind you that, and so it's just, this is just real experience, man. And I tell you, I hope Hamilton High does get back where they was, because watching them games, going over and watch Chris Kingsbury and Tyrese Walker, who's good friends of mine, watching them guys play, the people, the kids that came through the school, man, what a great bunch of kids and athletes they was. They was amazing. When you walk into a gym, man, it was just like, wow, Hamilton's here. So it's just a real experience. I want to thank everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and one thing Tim doesn't know, and he's not too much older than me, is I was in elementary when he played, and I was at all the games. Like, we didn't miss a game, so I grew up watching Tim and Norm and Mo and Donnie and that whole crew. And we'll get to Tim here and Rucking here in a little bit, Ricking, but he's a whole other story. We'll have some fun with him. Next up, we're going to have Kelly Connington. Kelly is a 1994 graduate of Hamilton High School, where she played volleyball and basketball. She earned 7 varsity letters in her time at the Blue. She excelled on the basketball court, where she played for fellow Hall of Fame coach Dan Brandenburg and was teammate with fellow Hall of Famers Kara Bray and Angie Harris. During her senior season, she led Hamilton winning the sectional championship. She was named the team's most valuable player and earned first-team All-League and Cincinnati Enquirer honors. In her senior year, she was recognized as the Greater Miami Conference Player of the Year, Butler County Player of the Year, and District 15 Player of the Year. Connington also earned second-team Associated Press Southwest Ohio and honorable mention All-State. The city of Hamilton proclaimed March 4th, 1994 as Kelly Connington Day. When she graduated, she was the leading scorer in Big Blue history with 942 points and currently ranks 6th in girls scoring. After high school, she attended Thomas More University, where she continued her basketball career. She currently resides in Aurora, Indiana, and works at American Life as an Identity and Access Management IT. Connington has 4 children: Brian, Kristen, Logan, and Lucas.
And they're all running. And they're all running out there. Thank you. So I just want to thank everybody who came out tonight. This has been a dream of mine since I graduated. The dream kind of subsided after I didn't hear anything. And then one day, I got a message from Mike Dole saying that I was nominated to be in the Hall of Fame, and I got super, super excited. Days went by, weeks went by, nothing, I didn't hear anything, so I didn't think anything was gonna happen. And then all of a sudden one day, Mike sent a message saying that I was nominated. So I was like super joyed. So here I am, and I want to thank everybody, coaches from 4th grade on up to year in college. Coach B, I want to thank Coach B for sure. Family, they've never let me down. They've always believed in me. Just want to thank everybody. I am here because of them. I do have one crazy story. I think I was a freshman under Coach B. Came home from school one day, my mom said, hey, you need to eat some vegetable soup, which is my least favorite meal ever. Went off to Coleraine for the game, scored 23 points off the bench as a freshman, and yeah, thought that was pretty exciting. So anyway, I want to thank everybody. That's all I got.
All right, next up we have Thomas Ferris. Tom Ferris is a 1967 graduate of Hamilton Taft High School. He was a standout on the football and basketball teams, playing for Hall of Fame coaches Fred Gerritsen and Marvin McCollum. On the football field, Ferris was a 2-year starter at cornerback, where he intercepted 2 passes. On the basketball court, he was a 2-year starting forward for the Tigers. During his career, he scored 303 points and was named the team's most improved player. Ferris helped lead the 1967 Taft Tigers to a 17-6 record, captured the sectional championship, and beat cross-city rival Garfield 3 times in a season. Ferris earned a full basketball scholarship to Bethel College, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology and a minor in sports management. Ferris coached and refereed Special Olympics basketball at Garfield Junior High School for 12 years. In that time, the Orange Crush won first place 6 times. Ferris retired from Ford Motor Company in Batavia as an assistant plant manager. Him and his wife Judy have 2 sons, Thomas and Matthew.
I want to try to get as close as I can.
How we can work with that.
Good evening, everybody. Right. I'd like to start off talking about the selection board. I do appreciate them selecting me and my other folks with me, and I appreciate the families coming, and I appreciate the other athletes that are here supporting Hamilton. It's a thing to do. I think I'll start with the Hall of Fame, Marv McCullum. When you talk about Marv McCullum, what I see is pizzazz. Okay, that's what I see. I see a guy that put his team in the right position to win every game. If he didn't, we did something wrong. We knew that. And with Marv, you didn't see him running up and down the sidelines. You know, you might see him get up off the seat. He never got up off unless there was a timeout or a halftime or something like that. We'd make adjustments. But today, I think they're crazy. You know, you take a 17-year-old kid running up and down sidelines, hollering, screaming at him. He don't know if he's coming or going. Marv was the best coach I ever had, and I do appreciate him. But I will tell you a couple little stories about it. We're won the sectionals, and we're down in Cincinnati, and we're in our locker room. We're getting dressed, and you know, you hop up and down and try to get yourself in shape and get going and all that. And so, anyways, did our prayer at a pasture. Might have been Jack. No, it wouldn't have been Jack. He's on the other side of the tracks with me when I play sports. He's Garfield man. But anyways, we came out on the floor and we're warming up. And I look over, and it's a Corps game. We're playing them. And they're in a circle praying. And I thought, and the referees are with them. And I thought, well, I showed that to Marv, and he went wild. And if we breathed on them, it was a foul, and I got beat up. You know, it's unbelievable. But that truly did happen, and it was a good experience. And then it shift gears a little bit here on you, and I go one night. I was at home, and I got a phone call from a lady named Mary Swagger. And she said, I hear you know how to coach and referee and things like that. And I said, well, yeah. And she said, would you want to do that in Special Olympics? And I thought, no. I said, I don't want people bothering me and calling me because I've been through all that. She said, you come to one game and see what you think. So I did, fell in love with it. Just couldn't believe the kids. Jack was my partner, believe it or not. That's the first time we teamed up, Jack Young and myself. But anyways, after about 2 or 3 practices, I asked the kids, who wants to be on the A team? Well, all of them. You know, we all want to be on the A team. I said, okay. I said, well, who wants to be on the number 1 team? they all want to be on the number one team. So what we do, Jack and I, we would say, tell them we're going to start the A team this time. Well, number one team said, why aren't we starting? You'll start the next game. We switched it back and forth. Parents were happy. And I believe we won 6 championships with them. And there's no other feeling in the world like that. But I do want to give a shout out to my family. And I know I'm a little weak and can't talk too well, but I'm trying the best I can. Here tonight is my lovely wife, Judy, who's helped me through a lot of things. And probably wouldn't be here without her. And then my sons, Matthew and Matt, they're a lot better boys than I was when I was their age. I'll leave it at that. My sister, Kathy, and used to go to all of my sporting events when I was younger, and Kenny, my brother, younger brother. And I wanted to give a shout out to Mark Henry. He's running around in here tonight. And I know he's with his niece, but him and I played a lot of ball together when we were younger. But just giving a shout out to Mark. Where you at, Mark? Okay. But well, I think I mentioned everybody. I shouldn't be in too much trouble. Thank you. Been absolutely. I was a little nervous when I got up here, but I feel okay now. Okay.
All right, thank you, Thomas. Next up, we have Charlie Hatcher. Charlie Hatcher is a 2007 graduate of Hamilton High School, where he was on the football and track and field teams. On the football field, Hatcher was a 3-year starter on the defensive line and was twice named to the All-Greater Miami Conference team. During his career, Hatcher accumulated 180 tackles and 14 sacks and scored 1 touchdown on a 90-yard fumble recovery. He was selected for the Ohio North-South All-Star Game, in which he started on the defensive line and recorded 9 tackles. As a member of the track and field team who threw the shot put and discus for the Blue, he had several scholarship offers and ultimately chose to attend Duke University, where he started over 30 games for the Blue Devils and received Duke's Defensive Lineman of the Year award. He was named team captain for the 2011 season, was named academic All-ACC. Hatcher earned his bachelor's degree from Duke in computer science, and then later earned his MBA from Duke's Fuqua School of Business, with a focus on corporate strategy and finance. He currently works for EA Sports, where he is the director of strategy. Hatcher and his wife Elizabeth reside in San Francisco, California, and have 1 son, Rowan, and he is being represented tonight by his father, Greg Hatcher.
Before I get started, thank you, first of all. My name's Greg Hatcher. I'm Charlie's father. He told me to say proud father, so I'll say proud father. Before I get started, I just want to, I didn't see the picture he sent before I got here. That is not a mug shot. That's just a picture he must have randomly picked to put in this program tonight. I talked to Charlie right before I came here tonight, and he deeply regrets not being available here. He is humbled and incredibly honored by his induction into the Hamilton High School Athletic Hall of Fame. On behalf of Charlie, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the committee and to the high school. Charlie reflects on the invaluable life lessons learned from his time on the football team and at track and field. His coaches instilled in him an awareness that with relentless focus and hard work, almost anything can be accomplished by any individual. If you work hard, it'll work. Charlie often reflects, well, I'm going to tell a story because I didn't know anything about it. He says his coaches taught him the importance of mentorship from people that truly care. Charlie remembers beginning his sophomore year, mainly in the many hours he spent in the weight room with Coach Crouch pushing him harder and harder. I do remember him coming home and saying, I just squatted 350, 400 pounds, whatever he was doing at the time, and and I knew what the coney crates were going for. Does everybody remember coney crates? He used to eat 10, not 10 crates, but 10 conies. He spent hours and hours in the weight room. They really pushed him there, and they told him that he could do well if he would work hard, and he did it. Charlie was fortunate to receive a full scholarship to Duke University to play football. I don't know if you knew much about Duke football. In 2007, it wasn't exactly a powerhouse. I told him, you'll never win a national championship there. But he went there. He had a lot of other offers, but that's where he decided to go, and it worked out well for him. Charlie applied this work ethic that was instilled to him by his coaches in all the aspects of his life. He never forgets he owes so much to the coaches who inspired him and the support he received from his family, particularly his father. I threw that in there too. Most importantly, he thanks God for all the blessings in his life, and he really does. Once again, thank you for this incredible honor. Charlie looks forward to the time he can come home. It'll be soon, come back to Hamilton, which is home, to express his gratitude in person. So thank you very much.
All right, next up we have Bridget Henry. I got to take a deep breath on this one. Here we go. Bridget Henry was a three-sport athlete for Hamilton High School, where she accumulated 11 varsity letters in basketball, soccer, and softball. On the soccer field, Henry was a 4-year starter and was named captain for 3 years. She earned several awards during her career, including Newcomer of the Year, Big Blue Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year, and was selected second team All-GMC her senior season. On the softball diamond, she helped lead the Blue to 3 sectional championships and 2 regional championships. The team was state runner-up in 2001. Henry earned All-GMC recognition and twice earned the Big Blue Offensive Award in both the 2003 and 2004 seasons. After high school, Henry played for Notre Dame College for 1 season, where she batted .385 with 5 home runs and 21 RBIs. She was named American Midwest Conference Freshman of the Year and was the first player in Notre Dame College history to make first-team NAIA All-Regional Team. She transferred to Wright State University, where she helped lead the team to the Horizon League champions for 2 seasons and 2 NCAA Division I appearances. Henry was selected as team captain and also named Horizon League Tournament Defensive Player of the Year in 2008. She graduated with a degree in psychology and then earned her master's in science and nursing and anesthesia from Case Western Reserve University, and then as a captain in the United States Air Force, a supervisor and ICU nurse for the Mobile Forward Surgical Team, and is currently a certified registered nurse, anesthetist, and Seven Hills Anesthesia. Bridget Henry. Probably the longest one I've ever had to read.
So last night I was told by 3 prior Hall of Fame inductees, let's keep it under 3 minutes. And I said, I'm not sure that you know my bloodline. Us McCahys like to be a little long-winded, so bear with me. What an absolutely wonderful couple nights. Last night we got to watch the Hamilton High boys bring home a victory against Princeton, and we know that's a big deal, and I loved every moment of that. I don't know if those of you that attended had your eyes on that head coach, but that foot stomping and clipboard action gave me serious Coach W vibes, and I appreciated every moment of that and loved it. I just want to say thank you so much to the committee and everyone that's put on this event tonight. It has been an absolutely wonderful experience for myself and my family, and I'm sure all of you. You guys have just outdone yourself. I'm absolutely honored to be up here. I'm absolutely honored to even be considered to be worthy of being in this Hall of Fame with all of you that are in, and now all of us together. But thank you to the committee for selecting me. I'm truly, truly honored. For tonight, this is about all the people that got me here. it just is unbelievable. Many of you sitting in this room. But first and foremost, I would like to recognize my parents. The sacrifices that made for me to be able to stand up here and receive such an amazing honor is truly to them, and I will forever be appreciative of both of you. The countless hours of practice, long toss, soft toss, the batting cage, clinics and camps, the endless rushing me around, driving me everywhere under the sun, sometimes to 2 to 3 different sports in one day, sitting through the sweltering summers and freezing cold winters, all just to support me. I don't know that we had one family vacation that did not revolve around me and my teams and where we just happened to lie for our tournament schedule. And to my poor younger brother Luke, who got dragged along to every event, born into becoming my mock opponent and spent endless hours of me just beating up on him. I honestly don't know that I ever let him win at anything. Just the way my dad never let me beat him at a game of horse in the backyard. But hey, I think we both turned out okay. And Luke did beat me in pickleball recently, so I'll give him that one. My dad always said a quote to me, good, better, best, never let it rest till your goods are better and your better's best. That will always serve to me as a point of navigation through life. I can say one thing that I 100% will always try my best in everything that I do, whether that be sports, my career, or as a person, friend, or family member. I just feel like I want to make my family proud, and I think that's the best way that I can do it. To all my coaches and teammates, you guys have been instrumental in my life. I could lump you all right in there with my family. I've had too many coaches to be able to mention every single one of you, but I want you to know that you all have touched my life in one way or another, and I have carried things into my adult life that each and one of you have taught me. However, I would like to especially point out and mention Coach Steve Heckman. What an incredible man. Without you today, without a doubt, I would not be standing here, so I'm incredibly grateful for you. But it's not the things that you taught me that had to do with softball, it's all of the other things. What you wanted for your players was more than to win softball games. You cared about us, and what you wanted the most for us was all we could get. The hours that you spent for me outside of team time, helping me put together recruiting videos, talking to college coaches on my behalf, and on my behalf, I was always the hardest on myself, and you were always the one there to pick me up, to let me know that I deserve to be here and it's going to be okay. I would get in a slump. You always believed in me and pulled me out of it. Those are the things that your players are always going to remember, and those are the things that I'll remember for a lifetime, so thank you very much. To my teammates, man, oh man, I love you guys, big time. You're always as good. You're not as good except the person to your right or left, and I've been honored to play with some dandies. Funny story, if you don't know, my mom is a McCahey, and she's one of 14, and every single one of her 14 siblings ended up going to Baden High School. So the plan was that I would go to public schools from grade 1 through 8, and then come time for 9th grade, I would go ahead and go to Baden. When it came closer to that time, I think everyone realized, my family realized, I realized I was having a great time. I was getting a great education. I was succeeding. And not to my knowledge, but to my parents, I think they realized we had a really special class of girls that I had the opportunity to play with. Some of those people, Katie Halcomb, DJ DeLong, Autumn Marshall, Brandy Jones, and some really special to come follow, Mimi Mahan, Jennifer McKee. I mean, it truly, truly, truly has been a blessing, and I just can't say enough about all those people. To all of my teammates on all of my sports teams, you're a part of my journey and a huge piece of my core memories, and I'll never be able to forget any of that. Our successes of teammates have led me to be able to be a successful individual and have granted me the opportunity to have exposure that I might not have ever been able to receive, an opportunity to attend college on a sports scholarship and earn a degree that I could never have imagined. I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. You all helped me be a leader and learned how to be a leader and to continue to be a leader even when things weren't great. I've been a part of so many amazing winning teams. I've also been a part of some amazing not so winning teams. You've all been part of my journey, and again, I cannot thank you enough. You all have taught me that regardless of what's going on and what's not great, we're going to remain positive, we're going to work hard, we're going to be happy, and we're always going to try to outwork the person next to us. And those core values have led me well into my professional career and also helped me be the leader that I was able to be in the military. But all things aside, the things that I'm going to remember the most are our bus trips to away games, regionals, district and state, our hotel stays, and even the rain delays. You guys are amazing. I love you, and I'm blessed to still have many of you as dear friends to this day. Hamilton High, the faculty, the administration, and our community, you are simply amazing. I've had the opportunity to go all over this country and the world for that matter, and I've come in contact with lots of different individuals. I can attest that no one has lived up to the quality of humans that we have right here in Hamilton, Ohio. The way it supports its students athletes is unmatched. It has impacted my life in a way that I don't know what would have happened if I did not grow up in this community and this school. It's hard to even imagine how I would have turned out. And I'm talking about the very so members in this room. Anna Harvey, Larry Wood, John Ross, Coach Brandenburg, the boosters, all of my coaches and teachers. To all of my friends and family here tonight and the ones that couldn't be here, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm forever grateful for your support, encouragement, now and forever. Thank you so much.
All right, next up we have Keith Jones. Keith is a 1985 graduate of Hamilton High School. He was a standout diver for the Big Blue during his senior season. He earned first team All-GMC and captured the district championship, qualifying him for the OHSA Division I state championships. Jones earned a scholarship to Ohio University, where he continued to dive for the Bobcats. He was a 4-year member of the team and a finalist in the Mid-American Conference Championships. Jones has achieved considerable success as a diving coach. He initiated his first coaching tenure with the Big Blue in 1994, marking the beginning of 2 separate coaching periods. Additionally, he served as coach from 2009 to 2012. During those times, he coached 3 first-team All-GMC members and 4 OHSA Division I state qualifiers. Jones has also coached diving for the Heartland Diving Team and Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy, where he coached 2 Division II state qualifiers and 1 OHSA Division II state champion. In 2013, Jones was named the head diving coach at Toledo University. During his tenure there, he coached 2 NCAA regional qualifiers and 1 MAC championship finalist. He is currently a licensed professional clinical counselor and enjoys fishing and golfing in his free time. Jones and his wife have 4 children, Cayman, Jacob, Jackson, and Ian.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the committee for this incredible honor. I would like to thank those that came with me today. I have my wife, my mother, my sister, and my nephew. My brother was here earlier, and then I have the Moorhead family. This is part of my extended family also. I'd like to tell you guys a little story, and most of it goes with the fact that I was a diver at Hamilton High, and a lot of it was, does Hamilton High have a diving team? And so the thing with my story is about being able to do something from a small venue, okay? A lot of that goes, well, first of all, to answer that question, yes, we did have the diving team, we did have a swim team, and it was at the West Y, in my time, across the street from Hamilton High, very small place. And so in that, I had this idea when baseball, you heard all the baseball greats around my time and all the basketball greats and the football. We had amazing athletes at Hamilton High. And I was an okay athlete. And so one day I went to Coach Bill Dinger and heard he was a swim coach, and I said, I'd like to be on the diving team. He goes, well, can you dive? I'm like, I think so. He goes, put on a suit, let's see what you can do. So I'm like, okay. So he goes, can you do a front flip? Go, yep. So show me. Can you do a back flip? Yep. Show me. He goes, okay. You can be on the diving team. Just make sure you do everything that way and not back onto the board. And so that was how I got introduced to the swimming and diving team in Hamilton. Didn't win a thing, just learned. Got beat sophomore year, junior year. We had a great volunteer, Jack Smith, that came in and helped with the diving. and he just kept with me in what I could possibly do. He would always say things like, if you do it above the board and you put the trick above the board, the rest of it's just the fall. We all start from the same place. You get the advantage of getting up higher, doing what you can, showing off what you can do, and finishing. And so something clicked the junior year. At the end of the junior year and senior year, I went undefeated. And then we went into sectionals, and I think Mr. Danger told me tonight there was a lot of praying on that part over there, but at the end of it, and they called the list of names of people who made the state finals, I was in that list. Going from there until college, I went from a small venue where there was a 1 meter board. Literally, I could touch the ceiling in that place from the diving board into a 9.5 foot pool. And going to a college situation where everyone had the different advantages of the training and the belts and the trampoline and the pools and the platforms. And I was from Hamilton, where we didn't have that. But that was never an excuse in Hamilton. What I didn't tell you, that my career did not start with diving. It started with T-ball in Westside Little League, with an incredible system. Basketball, football, all the great sports that we've done in Hamilton and were able to succeed. I had so many examples of those that had made it to college levels, professional level, and I had people in my life with Rose Bowl rings and watches and all these different accolades. So I didn't know any better. I thought that if I was from Hamilton and I went to Hamilton High, I'll figure it out. It was that kind of atmosphere that taught me to everybody starts at the same place. You reach your height, you do your trick, and you finish well. And so in all of that, the many years that I've been to different places and the different people I've coached over the years and the different awards and the different venues, it was just starting where everybody starts in the same place. Do your trick, and you can finish well. So with that, I would just like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm still in my journey. We'll see what happens next. But I just want to really thank the people that have been there, that gave me the courage to do that trick, and we'll see how I finish. So thank you.
Next up, we have Travis Fitton Kinch. Travis is a 1977 graduate of Hamilton Taft High School. She was a member of the tennis, swimming, and diving teams, earning 9 varsity letters during her time with the Tigers. Kinch helped lead the Tigers to the GMC Tennis Championship. Several of her teammates were fellow Hall of Famers, Sue Barber, Sally Blue Streeter, and Karen Turman. Kinch was also a member of the Cincinnati Marlins dive team and was a YMCA National Swim Champion. After high school, she continued her diving career at Miami University, where she won the MAC Diving Championship. Kinch graduated from Miami with both her bachelor's and master's degree in exercise physiology, and Kinch continued her strong athletic career after college while competing locally. She was a 5-time Hamilton City Tennis Association tournament champion, including a singles title while being 9 months pregnant. Kinch coached the diving team at New London Hills Club and was involved in many organizations throughout Hamilton, including Community First Solutions, Westover, and president of Chapter BR of PEO. Travis was married to Greg Kinch and had 3 daughters, Sinclair, Hannah, and Georgia, and she's being presented tonight by her husband, Greg Kinch.
Well, I really wish, can you hear me okay? I really wish Travis was here to accept this, but I've got some thank yous to get out of the way. Thank you to the committee for selecting Travis. This is quite an honor. Thank you to Jerry Lauer for getting me the application and for making sure I turned it in. Thank you to Joni Kopis for her role in making this happen. Travis really was a great athlete, but she also was a wonderful sister, mother, wife, and a friend to many. So that speaks a lot to her character as well. Her accomplishments came, kind of the bigger ones came later in life. She was only here 52 years, but she packed a lot into that 52 years. I think a lot of the foundation for her success throughout her life really came from the Hamilton City Schools and the friends and teachers and coaches that she had here. You've heard of people padding their resume to get jobs. I kind of did the opposite with this, and I didn't do it on purpose. In the program, it says that she had 5 Hamilton City Tennis Tournament championships. Her cousin Woody told me last night that number was actually 18, so I really shorted her. Sorry, Trav. So if she got in with 5, I would think she'd be a shoe-in at 18, so that's good. But let me just tell you first who's here to represent us. We've got Travis's sisters, Emily and Nancy, my daughters, Sinclair, Hannah, and Georgia, brother-in-law, Jim Furman, and we've got my son-in-law, Lucas. So happy we're all here to celebrate this. But I want to share with you just a quick story about Travis. She did have a lot of accomplishments. She was very humble about it. She didn't brag, but she had a lot of competitiveness. And if you ever underestimated her, it was at your own peril. We went to tennis camp a lot of years with our friends, the Stevensons and Lonnies, and we went to Hilton Head. And one particular year we went down and they had us all go out and start warming up. And the instructors walked around just to kind of gauge your talent and put you on whichever court they thought you should be on. Wasn't a surprise that she ended up on the top court. And we did some drills for a little bit. And then the instructor said, okay, I'm going to pair you up to play some doubles. And he put 2 guys on one side of the court. And he put Travis and then another guy on the other side. And one of the first 2 guys started kind of grousing around and he was kicking the clay and just wasn't happy. And the instructor said, well, what's going on? And he said, well, I came down here for some really good competition, and I didn't think I was going to have to play against a girl. And he said, and besides, I bet we're going to kill him. Travis and her partner won 6-0. Thank you.
Now we have Steve Matthews. Steve is a 1965 graduate of Hamilton Taft High School, where he was a vital 3-year member of each of the football, basketball, and baseball teams. Matthews played for Hall of Fame coaches Fred Garrettson and Marvin McCollum. During his senior season, he was voted captain of the football team. He was a leader on the playing field and in the hallways at Taft. Besides being a 3-sport athlete, Matthews was vice president of his senior class and president of the Spanish Club. Matthews was offered scholarships to attend Brown University in the Naval Academy, but chose to attend Miami University, where he earned his bachelor's degree, and he later earned a master's degree in Xavier University. He was heavily involved in the Hamilton community as a member of the Kiwanis Club, Lennon Wall Basketball League, and coached baseball at Westside Little League. Steve joined his brother Jerry Matthews in the Hamilton City Schools Athletic Hall of Fame. Matthews worked at the Hamilton City Schools business manager for 26 years. Matthews and his wife Debbie had 3 children, John, Jeff, and Jill Huff, being represented tonight by his son, John Matthews.
Good evening, everyone. So happy to be part of this tonight. It's an honor to be here representing Dad. I'd like to start by thanking the Hamilton Athletic Department, Hall of Fame Committee, my Uncle Jake and Aunt Karen for co-nominating Dad, and all the family and friends that are here attending tonight. I'd also like to congratulate all the other inductees tonight. What a great honor. Too many to list, but I was reviewing the Athletic Hall of Fame members earlier today on the website and was just blown away to see who Dad is joining. It's staggering. Dad was known to most people as Turk. That was his nickname. Lovingly given to him by myself, Tank, and Jill as kids growing up. It was short for Turkey, which, boy, did he fit the billing for that. So those of you that don't know him, if you hear me shout out, bust out a Turk tonight, that's who I'm talking about. Dad was proud to be a multi-sport athlete. As well-rounded as he was as an athlete, he was even more well-rounded as a person. He was a Hall of Fame son, brother, husband, father, uncle, grandfather, and friend. He was always present as a dad, coaching many of our teams through the years growing up. And it would have taken the National Guard to keep him away from attending his grandkids' sporting events. He was an avid golfer, a diehard fan of Miami University, Bengals, and Reds. He was a member of Lenawee Kiwanis, serving as president in 1983. He also was recognized with the George F. Hickson Award, which recognized commitment and generosity to the community. He was Kiwanis of the Year in 2002. And also has a scholarship in his name through Kiwanis. Dad loved his hometown and gave back to the community that made him. He was Hamilton City Schools business manager for 26 years. And in that capacity, one of his responsibility was calling off snow days when they had snow days. So he'd wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. He'd drive the bus routes to ensure, they were safe for driving and all that good stuff. And it's not like today where you could just put it on an app and put it on a website and post it, hey, schools are closed. You had to call into radio stations with code words. So some, schmuck couldn't call in and say, hey, we're closed today. So one of our just great morning memories is him sitting at the kitchen table, and he had to call this he'd have his little note card in front of him with all the code words for all these radio stations. And he'd be like, this is how the morning went. He'd go like, hey, this is Steve Matthews, Hampton City Schools. We're going to shut them down today. Code word, Cindy Lou Who. And then it was on to the next radio station. And he'd go, same thing. Steve Matthews, Hampton City Schools, we're going to shut them down today. Code word, snowflake. And this went on for 10 minutes because he had to go through all the radio stations, and we laugh and laugh. It was the highlight of the morning. Dad was not only had a great sense of humor, because he got a big kick out of that too, but he was a man of faith, integrity, and honesty. He didn't sugarcoat anything. You always knew where you stood with Dad. He was a leader on and off the athletic field. He led in all aspects of life. He was the oldest of 10 kids, so he was the one they went to for guidance and support. And he relished that role to the point that he self-anointed himself the nickname of the Trailblazer. But it wasn't just lip service. He truly walked the walk. With Hamilton having 2 high schools back in the day, we were house divided. Dad was at Taft, Mom was Garfield. So it was always entertaining listening to them have conversations back and forth about the rivalry and which was the better school. So Dad always usually ended the argument with his classic line is, West Side's the best side. Which Mom usually relented and said, that's enough, I've had it, that's good. But after they combined into one high school, years after that, Garfield would come up in conversation, or we'd drive by Garfield. And I remember this like it was yesterday. He'd say, see, I was told you Taft was a better high school. Look at that, Garfield's a little junior high now. And it was always followed by the iconic Turk chuckle, which everyone that knows him knows that chuckle. So sorry to all the Mom and all the other Griffins out here for that story. Dad would be ear to ear, seeing all his family and friends for this moment tonight. He loved his friends and family. He was fiercely loyal to them. And we, as kids, truly couldn't have had a better father. We lost him way too early in 2010, but the legacy he left shines brightly today. We continue to honor him by holding a memorial golf outing annually, affectionately known as the Turk Open. The proceeds from that raise funds for scholarships, which education, as we all know, was extremely important to Dad. And we carry on his love of college basketball and March Madness with a bracket tournament known as the Turkweiser. Again, thanks to everyone for such a memorable night. I couldn't be more excited for Dad for this moment. And I'm going to send him off into the Hall of Fame with 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo!
I don't think you can ever go wrong with a Ric Flair woo. All right, next up we have Tim Ricking. Tim is a 1986 graduate of Hamilton High School. He was a member of the football, basketball, and baseball teams, earning 8 varsity letters. On the football field, Ricking played quarterback during his sophomore and junior seasons, throwing for 885 yards and 8 touchdowns while accumulating a record of 10-4 as a starter. He moved to wide receiver his senior season where he had 25 receptions and 5 touchdowns, a Big Blue record at the time. Ricking earned honorable mention All-Golden Triangle for 3 years. On the baseball field, he played outfield for fellow Hall of Fame coach Dan Bowling. Ricking accumulated over 50 hits and 50 RBIs in his career while also belting 6 home runs. I think that was on the low league field, though. During his junior season, he had a .345 batting average and batted .386 his senior season. He earned an athletic grant from Hanover College. Ricking retired from the Hamilton City School District, and him and his wife Amy have 2 children, Ashley and Andrew, as well as 4 grandchildren. Now, I will warn you, I worked with Tim for about 10 years, so every story that you get to hear tonight, I only had to hear about 6 to 8 times every single year.
This is the way I used to turn in my homework too, JR. But anyway, now I want to start by congratulating all the inductees this evening. I think it's a big honor. I'd also like to thank the committee for accepting me in the Hall of Fame and all the teammates. I mean, I played with so many teammates playing so many sports, so, but I'd like to thank all of them. I'd like to name them all, or 1 or 2 of each sport. I want to thank my family for all the support they gave me through my high school career, especially from my grandma Belle. A little story about her. I don't think she ever saw me play live, but on Saturday afternoon, I'd always go to her house, and I'm just going to give you an example. Football, she'd say, they called your name 60 times. I don't think she realized I was a quarterback. So, my mom, I can't say enough about my mom, the way she raised me. My stepdad, Mr. B, he was a gym teacher at Wilson for, I don't know, 57 and 1990. I'd have to talk 4 hours about him. I really would. He did a lot for me in my younger years and in my adulthood. I can't thank him enough. My dad / Goosh, a lot of you know him by Goosh. And I'm gonna add this, my older brother, Danny. My dad, he was a different coach in the 70s than these kids probably experience today. When I was 7 and Danny was 12, he was not hitting the ball at me like I was a 7-year-old. He was treating me like a 12-year-old. But I'd like to thank him. Also, I was I was also lucky enough to watch our daughter Ashley dance for Big Blue, and my son Andrew play 3 years of varsity baseball and basketball for the Big Blue. I want to thank all my coaches that had impact on my life, especially Jerry Matthews, Ron Spurlock. I can't say enough about Ronnie Spurlock. I mean, 8th, 9th, into my high school years, baseball and basketball. Steve Turner, he believed in me so much in football. It was unbelievable. I mean, last night we had a great conversation, and he said, I can't believe how many passes I threw to you. But, you know, he also helped me when I was a quarterback because he was a ninth grade coach at Garfield when I was at Wilson, but he really had an impact on me through my football. Coach Bud McCollum, I can't thank him enough. When he went to Harrison, he called me one time. He's like, "You want to come down to Harrison and play basketball?" Well, you know, I obviously I can't. But anyway, Mo Flagg, he was my varsity coach my sophomore year. John Smith, my junior year. Coach Dan Bowling. I could tell so many stories about me and him. We had a great relationship. It was unbelievable, and there's probably some stories I can't tell. Dale Robertson, I can't thank him enough. He allowed me to basically play in 29 out of 30 varsity football games. Well, my sophomore year, the very first game, he said, "Tim, I was going to put you in halftime, but I looked around, you were screwing around on the sideline." Well, I was 15 years old. No, I don't know. I don't know if I had hair on them arms, but and John Pont. I mean, I can't say enough about him. I didn't realize what a legendary coach he was. I mean, everybody talked about it, but you know, he came from Northwestern Indiana, coached in the Rose Bowl. I didn't understand at 18 or 17. I had no idea what an impact he would have on me and all the other players. Some of my highlights, Danny, I know you've heard this, I'm sorry. But, you know, as a sophomore, we were playing against St. X. And Coach Robertson told me before the play, I never told Danny this, but he called a seam pass. And I went out, and he said, "Tim, it's going to be wide open." And I had to fake to Nick Cooley. Well, if anybody ever had the chance to see Nick Cooley play, he was just picturesque. I mean, handing off to him was just like a highlight reel. But so I faked to Nick, and streaming down the seam, a kid named Craig Winston, about 5'7", he could absolutely fly, and I let it go, and he caught it, and we beat St. X, which for you Ohio State fans, Greg Fry was the other quarterback on the other team, so that made me pretty proud. Also, I scored the first touchdown under legendary coach John Pont. And the only reason I knew he was legendary because after the game, and if you guys ever, I don't know how to explain this, but at every practice, there were reporters all over the country. Well, this magazine's interviewing me out of Dallas. I'm thinking, what the heck's going on? And he said, "Do you understand you caught the first touchdown in Coach Pont's high school coaching debut?" And I'm thinking, I don't know. But anyway, somehow I ended up with this magazine. I think my mom may have got it from the board, but I had it for years, well, with all the moves and and I was on the front cover. And I thought that was pretty impressive. But I lost it and all the moves and all the whatever else. Norm, I can't thank Norm's mom and dad. Mr. and Mrs. Greavy introduced me to Rupp Arena in 1980 for the Sweet 16. Now, at 12 years old, I heard about a guy named Joe Barry Carroll. He played for Purdue. And he was my favorite player after that. You know, obviously walking in the Rupp Arena at 13 years old, which I never would have had the chance without Mr. and Mrs. Greavy to see at Rupp Arena. And then, lo and behold, I had the opportunity to play in 1984 for the Big Blue, and I knocked down the very first shot I took. And obviously I was the last one, but I told my grandson, we went to a game, I said, "Jack, I made a shot right there." And, well, you'd have thought I played for Kentucky and the whole 9 yards. But anyway, Another thing about basketball, I remember making a full-court shot at Fairborn. And now you got to understand, Timmy was taking the ball out. Norm was here, I was here. I went this way, and Norm went that way, and the ball was in my hand. I never really got the ball much with Norm playing. So obviously I threw it. It hit the backboard so hard and went in, and we went up by 8. And I had to ask Timmy, I couldn't remember if it was Fairmont or Fairborn. I had to call him the other day and ask him. But anyway, when we got in the locker room, we were going wild. Well, Coach Smith thought differently. But I can't tell you the end of that story. But baseball-wise, we were playing against Lakota. We had to win the game to win the GMC. And Timmy reminded me of this. He called me a couple weeks ago. He said, I didn't know you made a catch. I said, oh, I forgot all about that. Well, I made a game-saving home run catch. I about broke my back. And then in the top of the 7th, I was lucky enough, they walked Mark Lewis to get to me, and I hit a grand slam, and we won the GMC. Coach Bowling, which, like I said, he just texted me and said, I'm sorry I can't. He just texted me and said, I'm sorry I can't be there. I'm in Florida, da-da-da. But he always said he got ejected, which he got ejected earlier in the game, and he always said it fired the entire team up, which I believe that. He was standing on the bleachers because I remember the ump said, you get all the way out of this park. And he was on the bleachers of the football field. And then Coach Smith, I have to tell this story because he always thought I was the happiest guy in the town. But he asked me once, he said, I was walking down the hallway, just, a 16-year-old happy kid, I guess. And he said, why are you always so happy? I didn't know what to say, but I said, Coach, I play 3 varsity sports, I have a car and a girlfriend. And Norm and Timmy will vouch for this. I thought I was going to be on the black couch in his office. He had this black couch, and anytime he wanted to talk to you, he'd say, go to the black couch. And it was like, Lord, I thought I was going to end up there. Lastly, this is a quote I saw not too long ago. And I hope someday there's a 15-year-old kid out there now, and I hope it's my grandson, but I hope 41 years from now they're up here talking about their high school days, because I don't know, that's all I played for, and a lot of us played for back in those days. I knew nothing about college. I knew nothing about ever going to the pros or anything. I played to play for the Big Blue, or I thought it was going to be the Taft Tigers. But lastly, this is a quote I saw. I played 3 or 4 sports as a kid. When I was in elementary school and middle school, I never had an off season to train. I was always in season, and I think playing multi-sports was the best thing I ever did. Thank you.
All right, now we have Jim Smith. Jim is a 1941 graduate of Hamilton High School, where he was on the football team for fellow Hall of Fame coach Ray Tilton. The 1939 Big Blue team went undefeated and was State of Ohio co-champs. Smith had football scholarship offers but chose to enlist in the Navy, where he saw action in the invasion of North Africa, Sicily, Normandy, and the harbor of Cherbourg. He enrolled at Miami University, where he played football and graduated with a physical education and industrial arts degrees. He taught PE at Buchanan Elementary, where he started synchronized jump roping and square dancing. While at Harrison Elementary, he started the Flip Twisters, a gymnastics group, and when he taught at Lincoln Elementary, he created the Hamilton Mini Circus, known as the greatest little show anywhere. The student performances included unicycles, 6 on a bike, trapeze, jump rope, Spanish webs, limbo, and tumbling. Mini Circus appeared on national television events such as the Indianapolis 500 Parade and numerous professional and college basketball games. Smith was an avid water skier and started the Ski Ballers, which won numerous national awards in slalom, tricks, and jump events. He was inducted into the Butler County Hall of Fame in 1993. Smith and his wife had 2 daughters, Candace and Tracy. And representing Jim this evening is his daughter, Candace Keller.
Oh, yeah. Can you all hear me? I have good news and bad news. The good news, I'm the last one. The bad news, I have a 20-minute speech, but I did get it down to 15. So I think we're going to make it through this. So first of all, my family and I would like to thank the City of Hamilton Hall of Fame for the selection of our father, Jim Smith, to the 27th class. When my sister Tracy and I first learned that Dad was awarded with this honor, the first thing that we did, we got scrapbooks out. She had the mini circus, I had the water skiers. So we started loading all these pictures onto the Hamilton history train. Boy, that was an overwhelming, emotional event. Let me tell you, it's like we reconnected with him all over again. The comments and things talking about our dad. But the most interesting thing that I found from it was that he was a humble man. Because not only was he a great athlete of his own, because he was on the undefeated football team, he also brought water skiing to Hamilton, Ohio, which produced a lot of national champions. We have a world champion, Prissy Moore, who's here tonight. And we have four national champions also, Mary Jean Meganson, Ray Shear, my dad, and myself. So all of this came from Hamilton, Ohio. The second thing that I did was I pulled up last year's inductees and I listened to all their speeches. I was very impressed by all the talent that Hamilton, Ohio has. But it gave me a little bit of insight into why Dad was chosen for this honor. Because all the other inductees, because they were great in their sports that they excelled in while they were at Hamilton, Dad's greatest achievement was that of being a coach. Hard work, dedication, passion, perfection, and never did nothing. Talk about a triple negative, but it worked. It worked for Danny Haynes when he climbed on that 32-foot world's highest unicycle when he was in the mini circus. It worked for Stanley McClendon, Dino Renfro, and Larry Smiley when they were with the Harrison Flip Twisters, and they dove over top a human pyramid of 35 kids. It worked for Joy and Prissy before every ski tournament. It worked for Beth and Joni when he said, get on that bicycle with 7 other girls, get on that trapeze, you can do it. And it worked for me when he told me I could water ski. Like they said, in 1993, Dad was inducted into the Butler County Hall of Fame. I found his speech, and I think he would want me to read that to you tonight. These are his exact words. As I recall the years trying to record the highlights, I'm reminded of how much of what I accomplished I owe to others. First, the children, students, parents, teachers, the principals, Elza Sapp and Kenneth Moore, and James W. Grimm, whose curriculum organization encouraged and inspired his staff to build performing groups. His accomplishments in the field of physical education, although not in vogue at the present time of our city, are unparalleled in any school system in the country. I am happy that I was privileged to bring a measure of positive recognition to my hometown and had a hand in providing a place in physical education for all children, not just a select few. Our father passed away July 14th, 1994. If he were today, I'm sure he would want others added to this list. Richard Kaler, whom was his best friend and stood by him even in the toughest of times. Bill Moeller, who followed Dad's career and wrote fantastic articles in the Hamilton Journal. Beth Lubers and Joni Copas, who I'm sure had a hand in getting Dad inducted here tonight. And all the people that I've met along the way that say, Jim Smith was your dad. I'm a teacher today because of him. Or he was my coach and he was fantastic. I say, which school? He left his thumbprint all over this town. I get emotional here. And to all the people, the colleagues, the friends, the students, excuse me just a minute, they say this works. That Tracy and I shared our dad with, we owe you our greatest thanks, because that's when Jim Smith was the happiest, when he was a coach. Thank you.
Well, one more time, if we could have all of our inductees stand, and anyone that's representing the inductees, if you could please stand and everyone give them a nice round of applause. Congratulations. All right, well, that brings us to the end of the evening. I'd like to thank everybody for attending tonight. Hopefully next year we have 10 brand new inductees, and we can have everybody come back and honor them as they're inducted. So everybody have a great evening, drive home safely, and go Big Blue.